What's good, everybody? My name is Dee, and welcome back to Grown Up, where we talk about everything life, laughter, reality, the ups, the downs, and I sprinkle a little bit of independent music for you guys. So welcome back to the Naturally on a Wave interview segment, and welcome back to the artist that I just interviewed. He is so dope. He has a few titles already. He's an artist, he's an author, and he got a couple more. He's counting up because he's a businessman and he knows how to stack his paper. So back, Tae Love, how you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm great. How you been? It's been a minute.
It has. It's been a minute. Yeah. I'm okay. I got some things I got to get off my chest about the pod when it comes to the podcast. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty good right now. All right. So welcome back again. Like I said, he's got many titles, so don't get it twisted. He's not just an artist. Again, go ahead, reintroduce yourself, man. You know, where you're from, the type of genre of music you do, in case nobody caught that. And just give us a little bit about you.
All right. So I'm an independent hip hop artist from Washington, D.C. And I've been doing great. You know, this is I'm well into my 10th year doing music, still independent and loving every bit of the journey. You know, I actually am still working on my book called Growing the Seed that I'm writing with Nick Sneed. Shout out to my boy. And Speak Your Mind is still doing really well. If you haven't heard my latest single, Speak Your Mind, it's on all streaming platforms. Check that out ASAP. You missing out, for real.
Yes, go check it. Definitely missing out. I know I already have it in my playlist, and let me tell you, man, every time it comes up, I almost know all the lyrics. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not going front, man. I really go hard on the track. I really love that track, man. It really gets me in a headspace where sometimes mentally I can't get to with, speaking my mind. And every time it comes on, man, I'm like, man, yes, I have to keep speaking my mind, speaking my truth. So big ups to you, man, for getting that track out, getting the inspiration for it. And everything that's coming to you is blessings, man. So you're back here today for another interview because, of course, you have more projects that you're going to put out. But we're also going to talk about, a little bit of who you are. We're going to get a little in depth, give the people a little more connection to you, because, of course, Grown Up Podcast is about featuring you guys' music, but the interview portion is so that you guys can get that audience connection, that you want. So let's get it started. So let's start with your new song. So let's get that out the way. You know what I mean? You got a new song coming on the way. So go ahead. Tell us about that, the inspiration you got for it and things like that.
Okay, so my latest song that's on the way is called Beat the Odds.
Yes.
Everybody's had trials and tribulations. Everybody has, we all go through things, and we still going through this pandemic. I can't wait for it to be over with.
Oh, yeah.
But Beat the Odds is just every day making that decision to win the day.
Yep.
Real, win the day. Don't let nothing hold you back. So I'm excited. It's coming soon. It's on the way. And it's a real trap soul type of song.
It is.
I was in the trap soul bag, but all positive. Like, I don't curse in none of my music, and I've been true to that since I started doing music when I was 14. So yeah, I've been beating the odds ever since.
Absolutely. That's a blessing. Honestly, let me, now that you said it, let's touch on that real quick. I know that's really hard to do with music, is try not to cuss. And just with myself, sorry, I keep sweating. It's a little hot in here, but y'all gonna see my sweat. But I know even just for myself, just in life, it's even, I say, I'm gonna cut down cussing, but then there it is. Sailor mouth just opens and I can't help it. So is it a choice that you made, first of all, specifically for your music, one, and then two, has it carried over into your personal life? Do you either not cuss at all or try not to cuss as much, just as, personal reasons.
Yeah, well, I give all the credit to God, for real. You know what I'm saying? I give all my credit to the Lord that I don't curse. I really don't curse in my personal life no more. And it just transfer over into my music. And, all in all, I make my music for the young people. I make my music for the youth.
Right.
Because I desire to be a lifelong mentor through my music. You know what I'm saying? Really, right. like the Nipsey Hussle that's always giving game to the young people. Like, you don't gotta go that way. Like, and before Nipsey Hussle, there was the Tupacs. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like my man Gandhi said, you could be the change that you want to see. So
yes, sir.
I made that decision to not be like everybody else. And you can still make music. You can still make trap music and not cussing and still lit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're proving that right now, right? You getting it with no cussing.
You know what? That's B-Nas right there.
That is. I mean, you've certainly been beating the odds since the beginning, and it's a blessing, like you said, and God has definitely been on your side. And honestly, I'm so grateful that we linked up, seriously, because, I mean, obviously this is a blessing, but it's refreshing to see independence. And not only have you done it for so long, 10 years, but like you said, you've been beating the odds from the beginning, and it's, like I said, it's refreshing to hear a story like that. And again, grateful, thankful for you for coming through and responding and everything. And let's get back into what we're going to talk about, right? So real quick, when is the single dropping? And then is it also dropping with the music video? And what was the inspiration behind the music video as well?
Okay, well, I'm still working it out with my management team. We at each other's neck about when it's dropping. But just know, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, if you subscribe to my YouTube, you'll never miss it.
Yes, sir.
I am Tae Love, on all platforms. On Apple Music and all that, is Tae Love, T-A-E-L-O. You'll never miss it. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on the journey, and it'll be out this summer though. At the latest, it'll be summer. And what were you also asking?
Are you dropping a music video with it as well?
Oh, the music video is that's the one.
That's the punch.
I gotta do a shout out in regards to the music video, because it wouldn't have been the same without We Fit DC. I wanted to fit DC, We Fit Universal, better said, that's out here every day fighting against food disparities and food deserts in our DC communities, Ward 7 and Ward 8. Shout out to my man JoJo.
Amazing.
They were featured in the music video for Beat the Odds. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That is so amazing. That's great.
Thank you.
Shout out to them. Shout out to you for doing that. That's awesome, man.
Shout out Martha's Table as well. Shout out Martha's Table that's out here helping people during the pandemic. Shout out
Absolutely. Martha. Yes. Shout out all the independent businesses. Y'all are doing it, keeping us afloat, because we all know it's the independent businesses that's keeping us afloat,
It's
so
real.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So now that we got all the logistics out the way of the Tae Love, the artist, let's get down to Tae Love, the man, right? Let's get into it. So we were having this conversation a little bit before we started recording about mainstream music and independent music. Okay. And my take on it is that I feel as though, at least right now, a lot of mainstream music, shout out to my dog for the future. A lot of mainstream music is just starting to sound the same, nowadays and things like that. And not to mention, because they're so mainstream, it's hard to reach out to them and get them to really talk to us, quote unquote, regular folk. So a lot of the inspiration behind me starting the Natural N.O.W segment was because I wanted to find the independent artists who have been doing it independently, because one, of course, they're a little bit easier to reach out to, but two, because they understand the independent process, they don't I guess I would say bag on another independent person and their process. So right now, I am totally into independent music because y'all have been killing it for me, and I love it. It's a joy to really listen to all walks of music. So, what is your take, on mainstream music and independent music?
First, I gotta appreciate you for being interested in independent music. A lot of people, in my opinion, are caught up on the wave of just mainstream.
Yeah.
Not realizing that every mainstream artist had to start independent.
Right.
And to discover. So my take on it is that mainstream artists, most of them, especially those, there are many mainstream artists that don't understand the business. So they get caught up and having and controlled by those that fund their career. And they sell, they publishing, if you know anything about publishing.
Yeah.
They sell their masters. If you know anything about masters.
Yes, sir.
That's where the real money is made, And I pride myself for being independent because all the money I put in, like my man Nip said, all money in, all the money I put in, I expect to get that or double back, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to live off of that forever, because being independent, you really control your own destiny with it.
Right. Exactly. And that's another thing is that I love that in the music industry, because there is kind of a set way, which is the old way of getting into the music industry, of trying to get your music played on the radio or trying to hopefully run into a record label executive or, something like that. Whereas now the music industry, quote unquote, I feel the independent music is making their own type of realm, because they're creating their music. They're able to put it out on streaming platforms. They don't necessarily have to try and track down a radio station or track down an executive record label person or whatever. Like, they're really doing the work and putting it in themselves. And I feel like you learn a lot more when you're doing it independently, because once you start to go a mainstream route, that's when you have to ask a lot of other people, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? And you start to get lost in the shuffle. Before you know it, you're just like, you know what? All these 5 people in front of me, y'all know what they talking about. Y'all handle it, and I'm gonna just do the music. And what we were talking about before we started recording was that feels so inauthentic. The music starts to come out as just trying to get whatever it is that would satisfy the record label, or something that's going to pop, so to speak. And I feel like independent music really gets in depth with how an actual person feels. I mean, not that mainstream people aren't actual people, but there's just a different vibe. Do you get that feeling as well?
I 100% agree. Commercialized mainstream music is commercialized music. Just like when you watch a McDonald's commercial, it's seeking to fit for everyone. Right. I want everyone this Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make it as pleasing for everybody as I can, or whatever company it is, and I don't fault them for it. You want to reach the masses. But the problem I have is in regards to the music industry, is how authentic are we being about reaching the masses? Are we diversifying, or are we telling people's stories, and are we leaving it unfiltered? Because the main arena of music puts a cap on it. Like, all girls gotta look like this. All girls gotta behave like this. All men gotta move this way, or you're not a man. Or all men gotta think this way, and speak this way, or they not a man. And the independent, when you're an independent artist like myself, you can show what kind of man you are, or a woman that's an independent artist can show what kind of woman she is. And it might not be the same thing you see on TV, because everything you see on TV is not really what it. That doesn't make it the truth.
Exactly.
TV,
Exactly. Yeah. So I want to know, what was your reasoning specifically for being independent right now? Because I know a lot of independent artists have a specific reason and say, oh, this is why I want to stay independent. This is why I want to stay independent, and on top of that, are you, I guess, planning to stay independent, or is it a possibility that you would ever consider, some type of deal, or if it came in the future?
Well, the reason why I want to stay the reason why I am independent right now and haven't really been seeking to be signed is because, I have the full control over my creativity. I pride myself on that. I pride myself on telling stories the way in which I want to tell it.
Yeah.
And reach the people that I want to reach. Right. My music is for everybody, and I'm okay with that. When you become mainstream and when you sign under certain labels, you have to try to reach everybody, no matter if you feel like it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm not just trying to make TikTok viral songs. I'm not just make jingles, you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to tell stories of, tell real stories, real facts.
Absolutely.
But in regards to what I want to do with my career, I really do want to sign, and I don't want to contradict myself. I want to sign an independent label. I want to sign to an independent label. Yeah. And you know what? That leads me to speak on what we talked about last time. When I was on your show last time, I told you about one of my favorite artists, 1K View. Shout out to my guy.
Yes, give us that update. Yeah, we're still connected on social media. Give us that update, man.
I'm actually a member of the Rocket House with 1K View.
Let's
group
go.
Group chat on IG with my favorite artist, 1K View, signed under Lecrae with Reach Records. It's just so amazing to be able to connect with him.
Absolutely.
Long story short, Reach Records. I'm inspired by Reach Records. They sign independent artists into an independent record company, record label.
Yeah.
Basically. And if I was to sign anything, that's the only type of label I'm because it also is a benefit that they're a Christian label. You know what I'm saying? They represent.
Wow, look at that.
If they repping Jesus and good music, you can sign me up any day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to shout them out. If I signed anything, I would sign to a company like that. That's what my vision is. That's what my track is.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I know you were super excited about that, and I'm even more excited for you. Like, I don't even have any words for it. When I seen it, I was like, hey, that was a guy he said he wanted to link with.
He was just talking about it. You and I was just talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what made me like even more excited, like immediate smile on my face, man. I was like, this is amazing. Like literally went from talking about it and, we just promote this and put it out into the atmosphere. And
it reached them.
And it reached them, and that's it.
It really did.
Man, I don't even have any words. It really does it makes me feel like, what I'm doing is, I guess in a sense, not for nothing, because, I just really want to help the independent artists, and like I said, I really love music. So, if anyone's questioning, why is this person freely just promoting these artists? I love music, and even though if I can never rap or sing, I'm always going to support music. So, so happy for you. Congratulations. I hope, you guys can link up on a different level, and excited for that. I'm going to stay connected with you, of course. So, so let's get a little bit in depth of, Tae Love, the man. So, let's talk about you as who you are, where you come from a little bit, just a little background, doesn't have to get too in depth. And then, I know last episode you also mentioned that you got the bachelor's. So, yeah, again. Hey, look at it. Look at you. I see you, man. I see you. So, along with telling a little bit of your background, your story, I want you to kind of couple that with your college experience and how was that for you, and kind of your process of understanding that you were getting your bachelor's still to have that education with the music that you're doing, if that makes sense.
Well, when I think of my college experience, I'll say this. When I was in college, I stopped making music. I started music when I was 14 years old. And middle school, coming into high school, talent shows, community events. Then when I got to college, I just stopped.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I felt like I was an old soul. The music I was making was really beyond me. You know what I'm saying? I was 18, 19, but I feel like I was making music for people that was 25 to 35.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. They can't play this.
Right.
At the kickback. You know what I'm saying? We can't play this at the kickback. We can't play this, you know what I'm saying, in the cafeteria. We called it the union. We play this there.
Yeah.
That ain't the vibe.
Yeah.
But if I could do it again, I would have never stopped. I would have kept going. People actually will remember me at my college. They'll remember I went to Baldwin-Wallace University, actually, also. Shout out to Baldwin-Wallace University.
Shout out.
In Berea, Ohio. People will always remember, at least I hope they will, that I used to walk up to people and sing my songs to them.
Word?
I used to always... I have this song, and you can listen to it now. It's on Apple Music, called Life Gets Better. I would walk up to people and, people that I could see was probably having a rough day or what have you. And I would just be like, hey, my name's Tae Love. And can I let you hear this song, see what you think about it? It's called Life Gets Better.
Yeah.
And I would sing just straight like that. They'd be like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was a freshman at the time. But
wow.
I was a freshman at the time, but that was at the 2014. That's when trap was booming.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Trap was booming. So my music was never that. And as I was still trying to get more confident in what I do, I actually just lost my confidence during that time. So I probably shouldn't be, I probably should just not do it,
Yeah. And that was kind of...
music major as well. I was a music major. Shout out to the Baldwin-Wallace Conservatory, which is one of the best conservatories in the Midwest. I think it's top 5, top 3.
Nice. Shout out.
I was a music minor. I was a voice minor. But honestly, I think that was coupled with why I was losing my passion for music, because I came from growing up in DC in a struggling neighborhood. I never had music classes until I went to Baldwin-Wallace.
Really?
So I was used to the theory of music and understanding that. So it just felt like work to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like work. So, all of that, the judgments of other people, feeling like I wasn't making music that could speak to the people I'm in school with, and also just having the coursework of music. I was just like, man, I almost quit making music.
Yeah. It was like you overloaded yourself in a sense.
Yeah, because I wanted to, and this comes full circle. I always wanted to make music for my generation and the generation coming after.
Got it.
I always wanted to do that, but I felt like I was making music for the generation before mine. So I was making music for the old heads, and I'm like,
so you threw yourself into all kinds of lanes of trying to figure it out, which ended up, you were like, well, there's too many lanes I'm in. You was like, well, I'm going to just get out of all of them.
Right. I love those that came before me. I'm just joking. But I always wanted to make music for the youth because they the future,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm there now, Speak Your Mind.
Yeah.
That's the song of the future.
And absolutely. That's tough. That's a tough thing to come, like a conclusion to come to, because I'm sure a lot of artists that start out, they just want to make music. They don't care who it reaches. They don't care who's going to pick it up. It could be an 8-year-old. It could be a 20-year-old, as long as the song is popping and they listen to it, it doesn't matter. But, you kind of came to the conclusion of who you specifically wanted to make music for. And I want to talk about that. When did you come to that conclusion, first of all? And then secondly, you said you would just walk up to people, sing your songs and things like that. So when you stopped doing music and wanted to start music again, was that still the conclusion you came to? And what were the obstacles or the odds that you had to beat, to come to that point?
Yeah. So to answer your question, when I first started doing music, like I said last time, on the last conversation interview, when I first started doing music, I just wanted to be Drake and just do like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go through that phase. I had to go through that phase. I was making love songs and lullabies. I wasn't thinking about making music for young people. I was just trying to learn how to express myself through the music.
Right.
But then when because I started doing that when I was in 9th grade, when I got to 11th grade, and then my senior year, I began to pick up this mindset. I believe God was giving me this mindset. Like, I actually have a story to tell that can help those coming after me.
Right.
And because I don't have no siblings, I don't know. I just always had this heart to mentor and to help other people come up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was about 11th grade, you know what I'm saying, when I had that mindset, when I picked up that mindset, like, hey, I'm not just trying to make cool raps. I'm actually trying to give game and give back.
Right.
And because I got out of that Drake phase and I went into a Tupac phase. Hey, I'm actually trying to really be a voice for the people that came up like me.
What a transition.
Right.
What a transition.
Yeah. That was the transition for me. And then, so that's why, in regards to some of the obstacles, I definitely dealt with obstacles and flack for wanting to talk about, serious topics.
Yeah.
Like I would talk about depression in my music. I would talk about politics in my music. I would talk about, and I wouldn't talk about it in the coolest way.
Yeah.
TikTok wasn't a thing, but it wouldn't be the Vine type.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be the MySpace type of thing.
Yep.
It wouldn't be the catchiest. So those people didn't want to. People couldn't really understand my delivery, so that's been the biggest obstacle.
Yeah, I got you. So, with that, as a man, how was it for you to navigate through the negative thoughts? And I know that you mentioned in the last episode, you had affirmations, got the word right this time. So you use affirmations and things like that. But I just want to know, like, maybe your dad, did he give you some game, or grandpa, did he say something to you, or your mom, if you happen to, be in touch with them and things like that. So who was able to also, help you with that?
The game that I did receive from my goddad, I also call him my uncle. It's a weird relationship, but I love him. He's one of the most important people to me. His name is Chuck. So I'm gonna call him my Uncle Chuck. He always told me to go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. So it never made me feel incapable or incompetent or insignificant, or that I couldn't do something. I had to separate myself.
That's powerful.
And I share that with anyone that's listening that will receive that. Go where you're celebrated and not celebrated, because then they will help you. They'll walk beside you into becoming all that God made you to be.
Right.
All that you were created to be. It just takes time. And, growing up, I also read books a lot. but the most important book I read was the Bible, you know.
Yes, yes.
And it just, and I just began to be comfortable. I began to be comfortable in being uncomfortable, and knowing that it takes time to become.
Yeah.
It takes time to become all that you're meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with all of that for sure. Okay. So, do you have any inspirational encouragement for anyone who is thinking about independent or is already independent, or just in general, some inspirational encouragement for those who are just trying to understand, I guess, in a sense, their purpose? Because I feel like we've kind of found our purpose. You are able to create music and create this content for the specific group that you want to, and I'm able to do the same. And, we're both chatting here and we're doing it, So what are some words that you can give for others who are thinking about it, already doing it, or just don't really have that, that drive just yet?
Right. So for anybody that's interested in getting started and being independent, and seeking what they're passionate about, I would encourage them to write it down. Write down that you're interested in. Is it basketball? Is it being a lawyer? Is it being a flight attendant? Write it down, and you can write down as many things as you want.
Right.
Once you discover what those things are, beside those things, I want you to write down people that do those things. LeBron James, Johnny Cochran, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. So write down those people, because you can always research who are those people, how become those things, read books about those people, how they got there. And the last thing, another thing I'll say, follow those people on social media. See how they present themselves. And the last thing I'll say is work hard every day to do at least one thing that moves you a little closer to becoming that thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all those. I would add as well that to also remind yourself that those people started in the exact same spot that you are. They may not have started writing down, like you are, but in some shape or form, they started from the beginning. And that's all you have to do, is you have to start. So, I agree.
A brick a day to build a building.
Exactly.
To build a building.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah. Yes. So, what do you want the people to know about Tae Love? Not only the artist, but beyond that, because I said in the beginning, you're an author now, shout out to your book. Well, you'll have to plug that again, and many more accounting titles that you want to add. So where do you see, Tae Love artist, and then of course Tae Love as a man?
Right. So, well, Tae Love is an artist. I sing. I do inspirational hip hop. Tae Love is also an author. I'll be coming out with a book called Growing the Seed, which will be for all aspiring artists that are new aspiring artists that desire to build their own music business from the ground up. That book will be for you. Tae Love is also a motivational speaker.
Absolutely.
And I will be a part of podcasts just like this one in the future.
Exciting.
So the opportunities are endless, but Tae Love is more than an artist.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tae Love, artist.
Yes, he is way more than the surface. So don't just scratch the surface, y'all. Get in touch with him. Of course, his links will be all over the place on this video, but it'll also be in the description below. So of course you can catch that. Follow him. Go check out his latest single, Speak Your Mind. Look out for the newest one coming through, Beat the Odds. We don't have nothing specific yet, but just look out for it. Like I told you, follow him, keep in touch with him, and you'll know when that's dropping. Tae Love, thank you, man, for coming through. Thank you for responding. I have so many thanks to you. So many thanks. I'm grateful. I'm glad we linked up. And do you have any final words you want to say, personal shout outs? And of course, you can say your social medias again, even though it's going to be all over the place.
I equally thank you in the Grown Up Podcast, Naturally on the Wave. I thank you. I thank each member of your audience that checks into your podcast. I thank you for your time. I want to connect with you all more, Naturally on the Wave. Those of you that are listening, follow me on Instagram at I am Tae Love. Subscribe to my YouTube, Tae Love. You know what I'm saying? And let's connect. You know, let's continue to collaborate with one another, and whatever your talent is, I'm willing to come and speak. I'll invite you in, and let's just work together. You know what I'm saying? Let's support one another.
Yes.
And I see y'all at the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, y'all. Again, go follow him. Go check out his new single. Look out for the newest one coming. And it's Tae Love. It's Grown Up Podcast. It's Natural on the Wave. And y'all already know what we do. We stay safe. We stay kind. And we out.
We out.
Remember to hit that subscribe button for me. Then go ahead, shoot me an email at grownuppodcast95@gmail.com. Let me know what questions you guys have for me, or if you want me to do a topic, I can do that as well. For updates on the show, follow me on Twitter at famousd_95 or Instagram at famousd_95. Feel free to let me know how you guys feel about the show on there as well. As always, you guys, you know who I am. I'm D. As always, stay safe, be kind, and we out.